What's going on, guys? Welcome to the 15th. I'm throwing fives up. I got five on it. Actually, everybody put a five up on the screen except I'm not going to do it, but Marcus do it. So see episode 15. And once episode 20 hits, I'll do this 25. We'll have Samajai. What are you throwing up right now, Dave? Are you throwing a YBL? Are you doing the Jalen? No, he throwing up the frat set. Yes, sir.
No, that's not. Save it.
Tell them to follow the Instagram. Tell them to follow the Instagram.
Tell them to do follow Instagram.
Tell more of them. Aren't you a president now? Use your influence. You got a position on the board. Use your influence. Influencer, politician. Use your influence.
I got you.
Use your influence. Anyways, but shout out. He got the flag in the background. We not gonna diss the frat. We cool with that. We cool with the frat brothers. You know what I'm saying? As I was saying though, welcome to episode 15 of BoxInOne, a podcast where we talk hoops creatively, whether it's NBA, WNBA, EuroLeague. First of all, thank you for the love.
EuroLeague.
Yes.
No, buddy, I'm not waking up at 3 in the morning.
Watch the highlights. Why are you being so obtuse right now? Samajai gonna be in France. He literally gonna be at the games.
Hold up.
It's gonna be funny seeing Samajai like just holding a flare up at a EuroLeague game. Like he's not even gonna care about the teams. He just want to be there for the environment. That's gonna be hilarious. But yes,
tickets are cheap too. Tickets are cheap over there.
BoxInOne Europe tour. I smiled. I did smile. But thank you for the love and support on the channel. We did hit 100 subs and counting. Let's everybody clap it up a little bit. Marcus, you too. Wait. That's not. Yes, we are currently at 115 subs. We got like 60 in the last 2 weeks. Gary Payton vid sitting at 15,000 now. I didn't even know people cared about Gary Payton II that much. But wow. Again, thank you.
It was the Warriors talk. They want to see the downfall of the Warriors.
Okay, Marcus, enough of that. As I was saying though, thank you so much. It meant a lot to all of us to see 100. Rois carrying us on the Instagram with the Wilt graphic. That's tough. How do y'all feel about that? Before we start talking, what was y'all reaction to seeing 100? Our 100 subs more real than Wilt 100-point game, by the way.
Amazing. And the fact that he kept going up after that was crazy.
Yeah. I feel like
it's been like what, 3 days?
It's only the beginning.
How long has it been since we hit 100?
It's only the beginning.
I think it was Monday or Sunday.
Monday. Wait, let me look at the post.
And we hit like
it was
15 cents, 14 cents.
5 days ago. So yeah, May 26th.
Yeah, it's only the beginning.
Only the beginning.
Another zero. We're gonna put another zero over that soon.
We gonna put another zero, I say, by December, and then we gonna put another zero by this time next year, and then this time next year we gonna have another in 2020. By the time we graduate, it's a number I have in my head. I'm not gonna say the number out loud, but I think I don't know where Daniel went. I think we're all on the same wavelength here. Enough of the introduction shenanigans, though. Marcus threw us off a little bit, but we back now. Happy to have Marcus back. Samajai is out of town, but he will be back next week, I presume. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to the finals, y'all. How do we feel about that?
They don't want to see him there. Actually, I have a problem with
Did you not pick them to win in 5?
Yeah. I had them to win in 5, but that don't mean I was going for them. Like, they have the better team than the Wolves. Like, I saw it coming. So, it was great getting the prediction right. Don't like that, that Anthony Edwards got wiped out again. I wanted to see him instead of the Thunder. But the Wolves just don't have that team yet. They obviously need more building. And I heard they were looking for another superstar, another alpha, you want to say?
They said the same thing last year.
Anthony Edwards. So they still have like a lot more work to do. I saw it was coming because like they literally have the number one defense on the whole league, and they're playing great against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards didn't have like one 40-point game. I thought he was going to. Did he have one 30-point game as well? He had one.
Yeah,
right?
he had I think that was game 2.
Yeah, but everyone else was doing. I thought they were going to do better, but unfortunately, Julius Randle didn't keep up that way he was going against the Warriors, which I felt like if he was, they would have been able to like keep up. But unfortunately, Thunder had them down. So, yeah, we'll see him on the finals against, fortunately, the Knicks. I'm hoping the Knicks. I don't want to see him go against the Pacers.
Because y'all know what's about to happen. That Tyrese first ring is going to be a lot of uncomfortable.
They played
Going to be a lot.
He's not getting a first.
Going to be a
Tyrese
lot.
first finals
Going
loss is going to be
a lot
us.
of uncomfortable.
This
going to be a discussion later.
If he gets a ring, Daniel's on face.
I love how Daniel just had no reaction to that. Why he just little bro you, Marcus? He said he can't touch me.
Bro,
I'm not even gonna have a reaction.
Daniel's on face.
Why he just a little bro you, Marcus? That's crazy. That's crazy.
He knows it's gonna happen, right, Daniel?
What?
Marcus. He doesn't.
I know. It's Knicks in 7. I'm gonna say this. I do think they're gonna win the finals. Like I said for the
you
past
just want to
3
be right, bro. Stop. I gave you the props in the video. I gave you the props in the video, dog. Please stop. Let it go. Let it go.
No.
It's like the Lakers saying, we going to get Colin Sexton. No, you're not. Let it go.
No, I believe Lakers fans now because they said we're going to get Luka, and look what happened.
Nico Harris. I'm not going to speak on Nico Harrison today. It's not about that. Continue, Daniel.
No, but I feel like for me personally, I feel like what the Timberwolves did, they definitely disappointed the fans. But I feel like kind of what Marcus was saying earlier, they were, we have it next year. They weren't the better team for sure, but they said that last year and they said that this year. I'm not saying they're getting to the Western Conference Finals off of luck, but we got to really take into consideration, you beat a Laker team that, yes, they're good. They were healthy for the majority part, but they were missing a healthy Austin Reeves in a sense. But also, their Warriors were also missing their best player in Stephen Curry. People have to acknowledge that as well. Yeah, I'm not saying the Wolves don't deserve to be there. They did. But they just didn't play how they played lights out against LeBron and Luka and without the Curry Warriors. So I feel like what happened, we kind of saw it coming. Obviously, I said the Wolves in 7, but that's just me being
all did, except Marcus. It's okay. We all said Wolves in 7. It's okay.
Yeah, but that's really my take on it. It isn't better.
Yeah, no, for me, I'm happy. My Canadian brothers, Lou Dort, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the finals. And I think not only for the sport, but I think it's good for the league as well.
What about your Canadian brother, Andrew Nembhard? Royce, how you feel about him?
How I feel about him, Benedict Mathurin?
Yeah, how you feel about your Canadian brothers on Indiana? I'm just curious.
I think they're playing great. I think they're doing great things. They're, stepping up and doing things.
They're both.
That's all I got to say. I think they're making shots. That's what they're there to do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
But anyways, go back to the Thunder. I think for the first time we can say the actual best team, who was the best team throughout the whole season, is actually going to the finals. Is probably going to win the whole thing. I think we probably haven't seen that since the Warriors. Yeah. When they did their dynasty. So yeah, I think it's good because Shai's the first MVP since Steph in 2016 to make it to the finals.
Anthony Edwards, I'm not gonna say he underperformed. I'll say he got locked up. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso. They had him in a jail. They had him in hell. Let's look at these splits. Game 1, lose by 30. 19, 6, and 2. 1 block. You shoot 38% from the floor. You go 7 to 18. You go 1 to 7 from 3. 66 from the free throw line. You can't do that. Why does he do the exact same thing in game 2? Wait, am I looking at this right? No, actually, I'm looking at this in reverse order. My fault, y'all. Game 1. Okay, anyways, he still shoots 38% from the floor. He gives you 18, 9, and 3. He goes 3 of 8 from 3. They lose 88 to 114. They lose by 26 points. Let's look at game 2. Another loss. Now he has 32. He empties the clip, goes 12 of 26. 1 of 9 from 3. 11 from three-point range. Only win in a series was when you won 143 to 101. You have 39 and 6. Excuse me. You go 5 of 8 from 3. And then games 4 and games 5, you lose because you go 1 of 7 from 3. Game 4, they would have won if he simply just went 2 of 7 from 3. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's covering SGA. I think there's a lot of pressure on Anthony Edwards. He puts on himself to be a two-way player. We can look at this last year as well when, they were playing Kyrie Irving, and he said, oh, yeah, I got that matchup. No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't mean to diss you. Nobody in the league can say, oh, yeah, I got the Kyrie matchup except Derek White. But as I was saying, it's just he puts this pressure on himself to be a two-way player. So he's draining himself, guarding the best guys on the other team. So he's guarding SGA on offense. He's guarding Caruso. He's exhausting himself, and it shows up in his lack of offensive production. And I think his mentality is also, he's a 5-year vet in the NBA, but he's not a 5-year vet mentally, if that makes any sense. He's only a 23-year-old, so I think he's going to look at it the way I would probably look at it if I was in the league. Yeah, I didn't get shut down because I didn't get my shots up, so I never even really got going. But you're in the Western Conference Finals. There should not be a reason for you to, at this stage of the season, struggle with getting going if the defense is not shutting you down. And then your response to that being, I was just being a playmaker. That's fair, but you can be a playmaker and still make plays for yourself. He wasn't looking to hunt. He didn't see the Laker jerseys in front of him, and he didn't see Buddy Hield in front of him. A lot's different when one team has Austin Reeves and Luka, with all due respect, who are two guys that are easy to get around, especially when injured at this stage of their careers. They'd probably be better defenders when healthy. They were both injured, and the Lakers don't really have a perimeter defender. Vanderbilt tricked everybody. Then next round, you go against Buddy Hield. Julius Randle, of course you're going to cook against a 36-year-old Draymond Green who's already tired guarding Gobert, and Jimmy Butler whose butt was literally broke, dog. Of course you're going to play great. Now you have Chet. Now you have Hartenstein. Now you have Jalen Williams. You have J-Dub. Now you have bodies in front of you. This reminds me when the Miami Heat went to the finals in 2023 after getting everybody on the Celtics after they beat Boston. Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. I was like, look, you're going to see Aaron Gordon on the switch. It's going to be different. It's not 40-year-old Al Horford anymore. It was simply different. I think the Timberwolves got a false sense of security. They were still very reliant on the three-point game, and when it wasn't falling, it was bad. Lakers should have won that game 5 when the team goes 7-47, but y'all decided to do small ball for whatever reason. But we've seen this at the end of the Lakers series. We saw this at the start of the Warriors series. This Wolves team was not consistent from 3 after the first 3 games against the Lakers, and everybody was like, oh, this the year they do it. If your best way to be the best team in the league and beat other best teams, unless you're the Indiana Pacers, is simply shooting threes and hoping they go in, you're not a championship contender. I don't know where the Wolves go from here next. Maybe you get a KD, try to make like a package that maybe gets rid of Gobert. You don't want to let go of Naz Reid. Maybe Randall to Phoenix and some other filler pieces, Dillingham picks, etc. Get Kevin Durant. But even still, then you have KD as a leader and is hyped to learn from him, etc. But it's just a weird spot because, yes, this team was outmatched, but they also just severely underperformed. And this is the second year you've gotten to the stage and you got tired. And this year it's a little more inexcusable because last year you won 7 games with the defending champs. All right, you're tired facing the Mavs and Luka. That's cool. Nobody cares about getting outplayed by Luka. But now you win a 5-game series. Thunder was coming off a 7-game series against the champs. Now you have the rest. Now you have. Why are you looking like that, Dan?
He's looking down.
I think people did care about Luka kind of cooking Ant or like the Timberwolves themselves because.
No, like they cared, but I'm saying the Timberwolves were already tired. They were already tired, so it's not as bad of a look. They just beat. They were like, okay,
that's
cool.
True too.
You just beat Jokic in 7 games after coming back down 20. Here's this next game on Tuesday against a fully healthy Kyrie and Luka who already waiting. It's not as bad as beating a Stephless Warriors in 5 games. Thunder are now coming off a 7-game series, and now you're the team. Even though you're going on the road, you're the team that's healthy. You're the team that isn't banged up. You go on the road and get smoked. Then you go at home and you're underperforming. So this year you don't have as
really
much.
Close though. I'm not saying they weren't underperforming, but that game 2 was really close. Ultimately, it was game 4.
Oh,
game 4,
you're talking about
step back. Yeah. No, that step back shot and then he drilled it. Like so.
No, it was game 1.
It should have been competitive. Was it game 1 or was it game 2?
Yeah, it was game 1. It was game 1. I remember it was game 1.
Then. And he drilled it and then he hit that shot. But
yeah,
I think. Just the Wolves, like I kind of like going with you. Like they're a team that's like, I feel like it gets to a point where like, tired isn't the greatest excuse. Like like obviously like they played the defending champs and they beat the defending champs last year. And then this year, they kind of cruised a little. So I don't think tired was necessarily the excuse for them. They just underperformed heavily.
They're going up against a team that's like they're the number 1 defense in the league, bro. Like, it's literally no underperforming. It's literally the number 1 best defense.
Yeah, but the Nuggets took this team to 7 though, with a worse roster. If we being honest, just in terms of depth, they took them to 7 with a worse roster and was up on them at one point. And arguably would have won the series if Aaron Gordon and hamstring ain't go to jelly. Like number 1 defense in the league, but they've been taking to 7 before. Number 1 defense in the league was down 30 when Ja was playing. Yes, they're the number 1 defense in the league 1,000%, but it's not like this team hasn't lost before with that number 1 defense because they got outplayed or they got locked down. Wolves legitimately just underperformed. Everybody underperformed. That's the
thing though too is that it's all about adjustments though too, Joachim. Like you can't just be like, oh, like just because they're number 1 defense in the league, they're supposed to lock everyone up. Like there have been times.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Like it is about defensive adjustments, and it seems like they made those adjustments in Game 3 when they won by 41 points because they matched the Thunder's intensity on the defensive end and opened the offense in transition, and then they just completely forgot about that. Y'all can be, I don't know, like how many of the games y'all watched, and I could be wrong about this, but there was a point like in the second quarter you could tell when the Wolves just checked out. If they weren't, the Wolves are a team, if they not like there early and they matching you bar for band, they not going to come back. I saw this in the first Warriors game. Once Steph hit even when Steph checked out, once Draymond hit them 4 threes, I knew that game was over. Draymond hitting threes, they checked out. They're a team that doesn't play 4-quarter basketball. They're a team that if they don't establish a pace early, they check out. And it just simply wasn't tested in this playoffs because you play a 40-year-old Braun, a sick Luka, and a 1-knee Austin Reeves. Like injuries happen, but yeah, those guys weren't 100%. We can all know that. And you play the Warriors without Steph, and Jimmy got his butt crack broken. So it's like, bro, you weren't tested at all in this playoffs. So now when real smoke comes, you're not running down the chimney, you're running out the house. That's how I look at it. You can't say, I want all the smoke. And then you got Converse doing an ad. Nothing left to say. Unbelievable. He got to get his chain back next season. And Anna's only 23. He's got a great future ahead of him. This isn't a knock on him, but this is also the second series where he's kind of underperformed on the highest stage of the Western Conference. But this time he was rested going into it. So it's less. I can't use the tired excuse this time. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Thunder.
He had more games. He had more games because he beat the Warriors in what? 5 or 6? I think 5.
5. He beat him in 5, and those were easy games too because he wasn't playing that good. The WNBA is officially underway. We're in week 2, I believe. We have seen families get exposed. We have seen Dr. Umar say RG3 is a house. We're not going to finish the sentence, but that was something today. I don't want to talk about that too much because obviously we're here to talk about the game, but I think one thing I do want to say, and I want to get y'all thoughts on this as well, the unfortunate truth about the WNBA has nothing to do with the WNBA. And I think Candace Parker said this a few weeks back. She's like, because now that the WNBA is like getting its flowers and blowing up, there's like an incubator effect on like the conversations you can actually have about it. So before, just be like, oh, these women suck, get in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, these women hoopers. But you can't really critique one of those hoopers because people may think it's coming from the vein of misogyny, sexism, racism, whatever, when it's really just about critiquing the players as a game. And she's like, it's about the media finding that balance. Unfortunately, the media cannot find that balance because going back to the season opener when, Angel Reese, she got a foul on Natasha Howard. She shoved her to get the board. Caitlin Clark was like, what's the ref doing? She gave a hard foul to Angel Reese and walked off. We've all done that before in basketball. I'm not going to lie. It was this dude cooking me a seesaws. He went up for a layup. I just put my hand on his back. I wasn't trying to shove him because I'm like, if I shove him too hard, he going to fall. But it was just a little bit of like and he's like, hey, bro, what the F? I was like, hey, my fault. I was really just trying to stop him from making the layup. But, it happens. We do those things in basketball where, yeah, if I'm getting cooked, I might slap your arm on your next jump shot. It's not personal. I'm just trying to stop the bleeding. We did come back and win that game because I locked Buddy up. I do want to say that as well. But it's just a very interesting thing, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, why is the media so like absent-minded when it comes to talking about women's sports? Like, it was a flagrant foul, good basketball play, move on, and now you got RG3 saying Reese hate Clark, excuse me. Now you got Ryan Clark saying, why you always making milk jokes, RG3, why, you know what I'm saying? You can't speak on black women. Last black woman you spoke to was your mom, da-da-da-da. Ryan Clark, like, I apologize to my family because they got exposed because it's like, oh, Ryan Clark got a white baby mom. Umar stepped in the conversation. Like, why do conversations about the WNBA always drift away from, like, actual hoops talk? I want to get y'all thoughts on that.
I think
for me
personally,
Actually, Mark,
trying to set up like a whole rivalry between Caitlin Clark, and I feel like I don't want to be a dig towards Angel Reese, but like she sort of try to make it about herself, you know? She literally said like on one of her interviews that the reason why they're watching is because of her, which I don't really think so. Like, it's mainly based on Caitlin Clark, but I feel like she's trying so hard to make it a rivalry between her and Caitlin Clark, you know?
I feel like,
and because of that, like everybody saw like that LSU and Iowa game. I feel like just because of that, they're like, oh, we're gonna build up on this, right? Let's take this rivalry, or like let's take this game, and then let's just try to keep putting media attention onto it, right? Like all of going back at it because of this game, just like how Magic Johnson kept going at it because other college games as well. So I feel like Angel Reese, and not only Angel Reese, but like the media are trying to make it like into a huge rivalry.
Yeah, I think I agree with Marcus a lot. Like, I do think it has a lot to do with like just the media trying to like make a new per se Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird type of thing, because you got to realize at the same time, yeah, it's not at all, by the way. Yes, because the NBA obviously was like at the time their upcoming league and they needed 2 stars, so they got obviously Larry Bird and Magic Johnson to become a rivalry, and their rivalry before college. So it's very similar, but it's not the same. But which I feel like they're trying to do that again. Like, and also I think the one thing is too, Joaquin, I agree with you as well, is that they're trying to find a balance, like between like like misogyny and women as well, but also like I think they're trying to reach an audience, like they're trying to. I feel like the media is trying to reach like more of like like the drama side of pop culture than the sports side of pop culture. I feel like that's what they're doing right now, because if you I'm not speaking for all women on this, but like a lot of like there's some women who watch like dramas. They watch like reality TV shows. Maybe ESPN or like these channels, they're trying to make it a way where it's like, hey, like let's put the drama on them and let's get viewership out of it. I feel like maybe that it's a little bit that way when they're trying to push that agenda, but I think it's just fine. They're still trying to find a balance between like per se like, oh, like this is the WNBA, this is a sports league, we should treat it like a sports league. Then they're treating it like kind of like a drama show in a way.
And it's crazy because like Caitlin Clark isn't even doing anything about it. She's like mainly just letting my hoops talk instead of like she's not talking. It's just like her game talking for her. And like Angel Reese isn't doing that, right? Like she's the one who's like always talking about it on herself rather than like putting it all up in the game. Like she's saying she's talking crazy on her podcast. She's talking crazy like on the interviews. I feel like that plays a huge part into the media where like people say like, oh, let's get this, and it's like turns into a huge thing. And because of that, like we all know how like media switches things up quick, right? They do that to like get attention from others and get like clicks and views. So like they literally take what Angel Reese is saying and turning that into like a huge bigger thing, right? Like it's Caitlin Clark isn't speaking on anything. It's just that as her game.
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the vantage point that we talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Here's my take on it before we move on to actual WNBA hoops.
No, I'm not done talking. We can go ahead.
Okay, we gonna have a part 2. Yeah, good clips. As I was saying, I think there's a few things the media gets wrong about this. Number one, is this narrative that Caitlin Clark came out of nowhere. She was top 5 in the class. It was her, it was Paige, it was Brink, it was Reese, and it was Cardoso. That was the class of 2020. They were all rated 97 plus. Paige Beckers was the star for college basketball. She was the star. Obviously, That's real. She used her platform. She mentioned that, as a white woman, this is still a black woman's sport. We got to be respectful of that. I have a different opinion. Not a different opinion. I will say that, though I appreciate the sentiment behind what she said, I do also think, just as a fan of the sport, you're getting this coverage because you're the best in the league. At a point, I think your talent, sports to a point, is it's a meritocracy. And you're going to get the coverage and the rewards based on how well you play. And she was breaking record after record after record. So, of course, she was going to get coverage regardless. But, kudos to her for, speaking her mind on that. Then she goes down. That's where Caitlin Clark took off. I can find articles about Caitlin Clark in 2021 as a freshman matching up with Paige. She already had that hype going into the league. When Paige went down, though, that's when Clark took off, because it's like, oh, UConn not doing anything. What else is women's college basketball doing? And you're seeing this Stephen Curry, Steve Nash hybrid pull from the logo. You're seeing her drop 40, 10, and 10. You're seeing her drop 40 and 16. You're seeing her drop 39 and 15. You're seeing stat lines that haven't been done before. You're seeing her break scoring records, and Kelsey Plum also got a scoring record, but we got to look at the way Caitlin Clark was doing it. This is not a diss to Kelsey Plum, probably one of the most underrated college basketball scorers of all time, because she got record after record after record as well. Multiple 40 bombs when she was in college. The thing about Clark is she was doing it from the logo. It was like, oh, you pulling it from there for the record? Oh, you really like that. March Madness run happened, right? Granted, Angel Reese was also doing her thing. She was setting double-double records for the SEC. She was doing great things as well. This right here, when Angel Reese followed Clark around, it was a marketing ploy. It was, look, this is the face of my sport. I just beat the face of my sport. How can I attach myself to the face of the sport to secure my branding going into next season and create a story about me? My only issue, that I don't have an issue with it as a competitor. We've all done worse things on the basketball court. I feel like we've said that before. I hit a game-winning three on somebody once. Daniel, you know exactly what I yelled to Buddy after I hit that game-winning three. It was a word in there. It was a word in there. What?
Joe Slurse is back? Continue, my bad.
Anyways, as I was saying, I said some things to the brother. As a competitor, I understand the need to just talk your stuff. My only issue was she front ran. She was a front runner, because Cameron Carter's had 21 in the first half. Alexis Morris had like 16 and 12 or 18 and 16 and played great defense on Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese had an uncharacteristically bad game in the championship. So you doing this after getting backpacked the whole game, I personally didn't like that, just as a competitor. Now the problem is, you look at Clark, right? And a lot of fans of her are just fans of the game. But there's this little loud minority of her fans, they on that bigotry BS. They on that, oh, no, not Angel Reese going after my great white hope. This classless thug. Why is Dave whatever his name is, Dave Portnoy, or I think it's Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports Warner. Why are you using your platform to call any athlete out outside of their name, number one, especially a woman? I'm just going to take away race from this context. But then call her a thug. It's never a classless thug, bro. Thug. The ones Batman be beating up. Really, dog? This is what we're doing? After this, oh, you're a thug. If she's a thug for doing what I'm doing, I gotta be in Riker Island for the stuff I be saying when I play basketball, bro. If we're just gonna call people thugs based on this, y'all, Roy's the only one who hasn't seen me when I'm mad playing basketball. I be saying some of the worst stuff ever to people. Like nothing about family, but to that individual specifically, yeah, I be talking. So again, people don't understand like how to have normal conversations about women's sports. Fast forward to this now, though. The thing that Angel Reese did, I think that was a mistake. She didn't move on from the moment. Yes, the media gonna always generate the hype. Yes, the media is going to do what they do. But the issue is now when, based on your language, you're inviting conversations that seemingly seem like a diss to Clark, where they're not just watching it for her, they're watching it for other people too. And I understand from her perspective, you very annoyed that everybody's asking about this one person. that got you to this point when you was always a hooper. But I don't think any of those conversations would have happened if you did not attach yourself to her in that moment as a marketing ploy, and it kind of blew back. It kind of, there's not a way to say it without saying it sounded sus. It exploded back on her face.
Keep going. No pause. Keep going. It's only a pause if you stop.
Exploded. It was a lot of blowback. It was a lot of blowback from her own decision. That's the right way to say it. It was a lot of blowback from her own decision. And I think because of that, it was a misfired marketing attempt. And I think she was also trying to be one of the phases of the league. I understand is steal some of that lightning, do a little thunderstruck. Unfortunately, sports fans are stupid. And some people, it was just grumpy old white dudes trying to push narratives and agendas. But I don't think those narratives and agendas would have been open if she just didn't do what she did. So it's one of those things where now you are forever tied to Clark, but Clark moved on from the moment. But for you, because you haven't been performing at a level in the league where people are like, oh yeah, you really up next, because of things like, yes, you 13 and 13, you a walking double-double, but your finishing needs work. Your defense needs work. Jonquel Jones, you went 0-8 from the field when it was a real big in front of you. And the thing about Angel Reese as well, that is it's just a product of the game. I already have seen Brittany Griner. I've already seen Ajay Wilson. I've already seen Jonquel Jones, Breonna Stewart, women who are 6'3", 6'4", even 6'9" in Griner's case, that can protect the glass, that can get double-doubles. In Caitlin Clark's case, they have not seen anything like that in the league. It's like, what if Sue Bird could have Steph Curry range? This is simply something that hasn't been seen in the league, period. It's like when Juju Watkins goes into the league. I don't think, we had Diana Taurasi, but Juju Watkins is literally just like Devin Booker. That's who, like, 1-to-1, their game's the same. If she can keep that scoring pace and ability to score in the WNBA, we're not going to see a score that proficient until more girls start, the talent is getting better now. The sport is catching up. So we're going to see more Clarks. We're going to see more Watkins and Beckers, etc. But with Angel Reese's, I'm not going to say she's just another player because that's insulting to her, but her game isn't anything that a fan who just wants to watch some excitement, they're not going to watch Angel Reese. And that's not a diss to her. That's just the way her game is. Ajay Wilson, she going to dominate the game. She going to give you 25 and 20. She going to give you some threes. She going to give you a near dunk. She going to give you some great playmaking. She got a jump shot. She developed her game. Breonna Stewart, she going to bomb it from three. Jonquel Jones also going to bomb it from three. New York Liberty looking great right now. Brittany Griner can dunk. So she was already a spectacle in itself. Angel Reese, when she gets better at the sport and she adds more facets into her game, her bag gets a little deeper, she continues to hit perimeter shots, etc. I feel like that's when the moment this whole thing is going to be in her rear view, because for now, that's all people know her for, and they don't care to get to know her as a hooper, and her game doesn't facilitate that type of excitement. You can go, Dan.
She also gotta stop falling for the rage bait too. She gotta stop falling for the rage bait.
Yeah,
that girl walks right into it. Like she needs better. She needs a better PR team.
Fell for the Hesse.
Better PR team.
Fell for the Hesse. But I also think it's the WNBA doesn't know how to handle it though, because they were saying it was like social media was saying they were being racist at the Fever Sky game, and the Sky coach was like, "Bro, nobody said that." And then they were like, "See, these are monkey noises." It was a Flight Reacts meme, bro. Like the WNBA also doesn't understand. Yes, they played the Flight Reacts. No, they played it at the game when she was the free throw run. I think the
really?
Yeah, and this goes back to what Candace Park was saying about the incubator effect. The WNBA doesn't understand, bro. Some of these fans can be a-holes, bro. I'm an a-hole. Me and Daniel was beefing on Instagram last year, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. And I've known him for 2 years, and we were going back and forth over again. I was like, yeah, you bum, 3-0. Hold that, buddy. You was talking about Luka and Kyrie. You suck, buddy. And I beat you once. This somebody I have a podcast with, bro. It's just how sports are.
Hey, I defended myself too, guys. Don't make it. He did not.
I mean, at the end of the day ends. I'm going to leave it at that. But, like, we've all had passionate debates. Me and Daniel, I'm noticing a pattern. We was going crazy in the pod yesterday. Samajai was like, both of y'all, shut up. It's like, bro, it's just me and Rois have had passionate debates about Cavs and Warriors, bro. It just happens to be like that. Me and Marcus have gone at it. It's the way sports are, and the WNBA needs to
love of the game.
when your game is elevated, yeah, you're gonna have trolling. Yeah, you're gonna have hate news accounts. Yeah, you're gonna have haters.
We're gonna be talking today when we playing hoops.
Yeah, like it's the way basketball is, and I think if anything, all those. I think if anything, those things happening for the WNBA is a huge positive because that means people aren't just trolling it now because of, oh, they're women, get in the kitchen. They're trolling you because they're watching the games. I don't mean to like bring up Angel Reese. No, Sabrina Ionescu in the finals, when they said she shot January 21st in the closeout game, she shot 1 of 21. Like, this is the stuff I like to see because people are tuning in and actually watching the game now. You just got to accept this comes with it. A day being a Braun fan on NBA. Actually, no, Braun FC got the craziest shooters I've ever seen. Remember when that guy was making fun of Scotty Barnes? He's like, oh, why does he act so autistic? And then his account got packed up the same day. Like, bro, they still talk about Josh Giddey, bro. Like, it's just the way the sport is, and fans are going to get passionate, but that comes with the sport elevating, and you got to embrace that in your marketing, embrace that and give fans the space, and give these players the space to understand, all right, y'all out of spotlight now, this is what happens. It's not like, oh, if you don't like Angel Reese simply because of this, and you like have some racial background to that, not gonna flip the bird to the camera. But there's words for you we're not gonna say. We just gonna say you a loser and you need to do some things about your life. I'm not gonna say what you need to do about your life. No. No. If you an Angel Reese hater solely because of this moment and you had no prior reason to, and then you're like, oh, not my Caitlin Clark, you're a loser. But if you just say, I don't know what the Skies rival, Connecticut Sun, if you just don't like anybody on the Sky because you a Suns fan, or maybe you just happen to always, you was an Indiana Fever fan back when Kelsey Mitchell was like struggling by herself, yeah, you cannot like Angel Reese, but it's also as a sports fan, and people are going to talk smack about you as a sports fan. Killian Hayes, one of the most clowned on players in the league, bro. It just happens. And you got to accept that if you put that villain role on yourself.
Tony Snell.
Kuzma was doing cardio in the playoffs, bro. They say he only check in for the fit tunnel and then he leave, bro. Like,
he took it upon himself. Like, he literally took it. He who wasn't affected by it, bro.
Yeah, like, you just gotta, and sometimes people do take it too far. People do make it racial. That sucks. But people just saying, hey, make your layups, buddy. I get that it's a lot to deal with. Turn off your phone and go in the gym. That's genuinely my advice. Because you can be a better player. Don't do what Jalen Green did though when he said, "Hey, leave my girl out of this," and then drop straight stinkers in that rock. I'm
deleting IG to lock in.
I don't care about the Warriors. I'm just happy we still own the Rockets. Y'all, boo, stinky franchise, boo. Crazy enough, I actually did like the Rockets for a little bit. Back when Dwight Howard was on.
I feel like you liked any team back then, bro.
I was a Chris Paul hater. Can we just be so honest, bro? I was a CP3 hater.
What?
Yes, when
Who's
he was on.
What's your explanation behind it? How can you hate Chris Paul? What did he do?
Because he took the Warriors out in 2014. He took us out in 7 because he had like 30 and 15. I was just a hater for the 2015 season, bro. I have reasons for all my hate watches, bro. Y'all just think like I'm pulling stuff out. I have reasons for every player I don't like.
What something you like?
Jalen Green. Just for the meme, bro. He really ain't done nothing to me, bro.
he just sucks.
He ain't done nothing. Hey, he ain't done nothing for Houston either. I can tell you that. He ain't done nothing to me, bro. Who else? I like Chris Paul now. I wasn't a Durant hater. Yeah, I never hated KD. KD is a Warriors fan. Come back.
When he was on the Nets?
Were you a CP lover when he was on the Warriors?
Oh, what?
What?
Was that
CP3
lover?
Yeah, were you a CP3 lover when he was on the Warriors?
You're missing a number.
Actually, I liked his playmaking ability because it allowed Steph to play way more off ball. And I think in the playoffs, if we were healthy, it could have been something, but we needed a center, and we did not have a center. We had 6'8" Trace Jackson.
37-year-old because of Jordan Poole.
That Chris Paul trade was one of the worst trades ever. The thing is, like, when we were healthy, we had a crazy good record. That Boston Celtics game, 20-point comeback, I smiled. I smiled so much. Too bad the Kings bounced us out in the play-in tournament. But I like the fit.
Who's that Overton again?
We don't need to talk about Clay going 0-10. He literally redeemed himself on the Mavericks, bro. We don't need to talk. R.I.P. Rocco, by the way.
R.I.P. Rocco.
Yeah, R.I.P. Rocco
Thompson.
R.I.P. Rocco Thompson. R.I.P. Rocco Thompson. Yeah, that's it. I think but I guess just to wrap up, before we do talk about some other WNBA and then wrap up. Yeah, this is what happens when the sport gets popular. You have a lot of trolls. You have hate music accounts. I think if anything, the fact that people are watching the sport enough to have accurate hate comments. Shooting January 21st, I was crying reading that because she went 1 of 21 in an elimination game.
Still won the series.
You went, bro. If Steph went 1 of 21 in a finals game in the Kobe game 7,
talk about it.
She did Kobe game 7. She did Kobe game 7 in 2010. I love Kobe, but I do.
We still won a championship.
Yeah,
Perk was injured. Don't count. Perk was injured. Perk was injured.
Bro, it was 15 years ago, bro. Let it go.
Perk was injured, bro. Perk was injured.
Let
it go.
That was 2 decades ago.
2024, y'all never let go 2008 either. Y'all never let go 2008.
Okay, and we have a new ring. We have a new ring that wasn't.
No, I'm talking about before.
We have a new ring. We have a non-Disneyland ring. We have a non-Disneyland ring that we can celebrate.
Halliburton was injured. Brunson was injured.
The Knicks ain't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, Daniel.
Exactly. That's why, because Brunson was injured.
Okay, and bro, Gordon Dragic and Bam Adebayo were out to get. Bro, Bam and Goran Dragic and Bam were out. You had Jimmy Butler going to war against the Monstars with Tyler Hero his backup, bro. It's like Sam Wilson going to war against Dr. Doom and all these villains saying, hey, Shang-Chi, save me. No, this is Shang-Chi.
You can't really put it on the Lakers for going against the Heat. Like,
I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna explain this. I agree with you, and I'm gonna explain this. I agree. I agree with you, and I'm gonna explain this. So
it's like saying, "Oh, look, the Warriors went up against one of the
Right, you're so right, Marcus. I'm sorry to cut you off, Marcus. You are so right, but this point is so good. I'm about to say, Daniel. Remember yesterday when I said the Bucks beating an injured Nets is different, just because the Nets were the clear favorite to win the Eastern Conference. So it's different than Boston facing injured teams where they were the clear favorite to win the East, or the Lakers facing injured teams where they were the clear favorite. That's the difference. The Bucks weren't the favorite to beat the Nets. That's the difference. I'm just talking about that series, bro. That's the difference. I was trying to make you understand that. Maybe I got to use your team so you can understand it a little bit more. Your team was the best team in the world before the bubble. So y'all winning in the bubble was not that crazy. Injuries aside, y'all were supposed to do that. Boston was the best team in the league, and we beat everybody. Nobody cares. They care about the Nets getting injured because KD and Harden and Kyrie was wiped off the face of the earth. You had Joe Harris, KD, Mike James, Jeff Green, and
Shout out Mike James.
Okay. I'm not talking about the finals. I'm talking about how they got there. What don't you understand about that? They got there because Kyrie and Harden got injured, and you were like, "Oh, they still had Durant." Are we serious, bro? Oh wow. Okay. Harder, because Durant was supposed to win a ring with that 2016 roster with Andre Robertson. He was supposed to win a ring with Thabo Sefolosha. Got it.
Damn. Cooper Flag.
Shout out Joe Harris.
$28 million in NIL.
Shout out Joe Harris for real for that.
Yeah. that was my main point.
The Bucks' best player.
Like Daniel just could not understand that for some reason. I'm just saying yes.
I never will.
Because you just hold on to that Giannis ring for some reason because he won him in a Lakers jersey. Yeah. You're hoping that the Bucks GM has CTE so you can say we got Luka Giannis and LeBron.
Hey,
come on,
bro. You know who is beating Giannis though?
Come on, bro. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
The Spurs.
I already did the trade.
Don't back to a dead person. I don't talk about dead people.
What?
Cavs, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna show y'all this.
We trade Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland for Giannis.
Let me share my screen real quick.
We're trading Darius Garland for Jalen Suggs.
Let me share my screen real quick. Y'all see what I done cooked up?
I'm shooting myself if that happens.
Y'all see what I done cooked up for y'all, man?
Can we go back to like Angel
Bro,
Reese?
the
I don't want
Bucks
to
are
see
not
this
accepting
like crazy trades.
They're not even getting a first round pick.
You see
That's
what I
what I'm saying.
done? You see what I
Like,
done? Look at the player cap,
crazy
bro.
for the Bucks.
No, I
They're not even-
updated the trade. I updated the trade. I did it. I took out. I put in the first round pick. This is just a screenshot
Bro.
for the cap. I updated the trade.
Giannis. It's okay. We're good. We got Isaac Okoro.
Look at what I cooked up, bro. Look at what I cooked up. It's not the only one, too.
Dude.
Suns rebuild. Yes, sir. Look at what I cooked up. Yes, sir. Suns rebuild. Yes, sir.
Anyways, can we
That will do it.
That will do it. And we gonna have Marcus drop his thing on Angel Reese. But again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. This was episode 15 of BoxInOne. We got Rois back, we got Marcus back. We got most of the team back. Samajai was here in spirit. I did avoid a lot of rage.
Shit about you in the chat. Yeah, you did.
I avoided a lot of rage bait today. I just needed this break after last episode, bro. I was actually upset. I was real life hot, bro. I was like, nah, somebody gotta nerf him, bro. Next week, can we all agree to jump Samajai if he start talking about one of us? Can we just like quadruple team him, BoxInOne? See what I did there? No.
Yeah, you're on your own, buddy.
Okay. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for the support on the channel. 115 subs. This is only the beginning. Shout out Rois for the IG edit. Shout out everybody contributing, pitching in. Marcus is back now as a regular, right, Marcus?
Yes, bye.
Okay, good. Just sometimes you just gotta check the temp. But as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Catch us on YouTube and Spotify for full episodes, and follow the TikTok, the Instagram, and YouTube. The Twitter we don't use yet, but when we get more followers, I promise you we will. As always, again, if you enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next one.